advent of Antifa, if you look at what's going on there, you have some pretty bad dudes on the other side also, and essentially that's what I said. Now, because of what's happened since then with Antifa, you look at, really what's happened since Charlottesville. A lot of people are saying, in fact, a lot of people have actually written, gee, Trump might have a point. I said you got some very bad people on the other side also, which is true.
So why is he doing this? Why is he so obsessed with Antifa and not with white supremacists or neo-Nazis?
Well, I think they're two separate issues, Don. And as far as Antifa is concerned, they've not really gotten the sort of coverage they should as a violent gang-based organization. The mayor of Berkeley came out and said they need to be classified by DHS as a violent gang. They've been disavowed by both Dianne Feinstein and Nancy Pelosi in San Francisco. This is a very violent group of people. And I think the president is frustrated that that has not been played up in the legacy media. These are dangerous people that are going now to other protests and rallies and beating people, and they're dangerous, and they should be classified as a terrorist group.
So what about the white supremacists?
That has nothing to do, though.
But John, this is not about Antifa. This is not about Antifa, and no one is condoning violence.
Well, that's what his comments were about.
Yeah, I know, but why?
Nobody's condoning violence.
Nobody's condoning
violence. But he's trying to bring attention to this other left-wing violent group that seems to be getting a pass. Nobody is excusing
They're not getting a pass. Do you watch television?
Skinheads.
Do you see
CNN
has reported on Antifa
I watch
extensively?
CNN, Don.
They're not
true.
getting. Go do a Google search. Go do a Google search, and you'll see the reports that CNN has done.
You know they're not getting the coverage, Don.
They are getting the coverage. We're talking about how many times have we talked about it with you, John? That's a talking point. So,
they're a very violent group, okay? But let
me remind people what this is about. Okay, let me just remind people. Let's go back to that Vice video of the protesters. Watch this.
Will not replace us! Jews will not replace us! Jews will not replace us!
Okay, so those comments basically mean that they're saying that only white people are entitled to the American dream or to live in America, basically insinuating everyone else should be exterminated. Jews will not replace us. And the people who were on the other side, as he says, they were there protesting that. So I'm wondering, Simone, why is he unable or unwilling to move on from making a comparison between white supremacists and those who protest against them? Again, Antifa, the violent tactics are wrong. No one is condoning that, but it is different.
It's absolutely different. I think part of this is Donald Trump has a real problem acknowledging when he's been wrong. I don't think that we've seen in the short life of this presidency, that we've seen Donald Trump fully acknowledge and take responsibility for being wrong and then move forward. And so it's really hard for him to let up on this point of both sides. One, maybe because he actually believes it, but also two, because that's just not what Donald Trump does. He doesn't, quote unquote, go back on his word. But it's dangerous, and let me tell you why. Because under the guise of being, quote unquote, not politically correct, it's very dangerous to sweep white supremacy under that umbrella, because white supremacy has literally killed people in this country. Heather Heyer died at the hands of white supremacists. So this isn't just about being politically correct. This is about the lives of millions of people in this country. And no one's trying to defend Antifa, but these are two separate things that the president continues to conflate.
I mean, I want to get your response to that, but also it struck me when in his comments today when he said a lot of people are saying, I mean, that maybe Trump had a point. I haven't heard a lot of people say that. Maybe Fox News.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot more people to pay attention to Antifa. That is true. And let me just talk as a very crass political operator here. He is missing a home run opportunity to send the message violence is bad. Period. KKK is really bad. Republicans have more of an obligation to call that out because those are some of his supporters in that crowd. And I think Trump should be able to give a speech that does ultimately talk about violence on both sides, but the white supremacists are different because they are mimicking a movement that is responsible for the murder and extermination of an entire people, millions of people. The Antifa crowd